Hello everyone and welcome to Animation. Today I'm going to be reviewing My Hero Academia Season 5, Episode 15, One Thing at a Time. So I just finished watching the episode and I have to do the review in a separate video because my reactions keep getting blocked on YouTube. Can't post them, but I do watch live on Twitch on Saturday nights. So if my Twitch link in the description, and then my schedule link you can find on Twitch. So then if you want to watch my reaction, you can do that on Twitch, or you can become a patron. But yeah, sadly I can't post my reactions here. But we will talk about the episode. I have quite a lot to say. Within the first 40 seconds of the episode, there's a big thing that popped up that I really want to talk about, but it's kind of wait, I'm going somewhere with this. What was I talking about? Oh, kind of a controversial topic, so I think I should best focus on this episode as a whole first, and just in context of the show, and then at the end, because what I want to talk about is relevant not only to the show but to real life. So yeah, where do we start then? Oh, what I wanted to do was, does anyone have a website where I can read the lyrics of the opening? Because I want to read the English lyrics. My Hero Academia Season 5 opening English lyrics. I just quickly wanted to read them. Wait, is this the right one? I don't think this is the right one. It's part 2 opening, the second opening. Season 5, second opening lyrics. It's not dish, right? The day, is it the day? No, I don't know. What is the opening name? I think the new My Hero Academia opening is pretty solid, better than the last in my opinion. I don't remember the last one right now. I would have to listen to them side by side if I wanted to choose a favorite, but I was really curious about the lyrics of this one. But I don't know the name of it, so I wonder if everything will be alright. It starts with everything will be alright. So it's not this one. My Hero Academia opening, everything will be alright. How you manage to be in this new opening, and why are you drinking wine? Which opening is this? Is it the day? Merry-go-round? Is it merry-go-round? Wow, it's all right. Everything will be all right. Wow, it's all right. Everybody, now we're here. Oh, hey, brother, listen. Fate can be hard-hearted. I couldn't be a shell. Holding my strength and weakness, I'm standing by myself. Face the world to grieve no more. The carousel goes up and goes down. The carousel runs around so fast. Your existence sparking more than no one else. Your existence sparking more than no one else. So like you are just as special as everyone else. You are not. Merry-go-round revolving around and now it's our round. Oh wait, here we go. Oh, I was just reading the English lyrics in the... Oh, okay, let's try again. Oh, hey brother, listen, yeah, fate can be hard-hearted. Dreaming endlessly, you've been hurt most of all. I couldn't say it didn't concern me and simply watch from afar. I couldn't be a shell, I can't live like that. I couldn't say it didn't concern me and simply watch from afar. I couldn't be a shell, I can't live like that. Holding my strength and weakness, come, this is where it begins again. I'm standing by myself, face the world to grieve no more. The carousel goes up and down. The carousel runs around so fast. Your existence sparking more than no one else. Merry-go-round, revolving around. I've always looked to your inspiration. Admiring you but unable to get closer. But through loss and determination, I want to someday smile as you do. And now it's our round. So it's kind of like a song about, you know... I like it because it ties into the theme at the beginning, what I wanted to talk about with people like All Might and Endeavor. They've led the way, they've inspired, and now it's the young people's chance to start. You know how there's always that, like everything in life is kind of like a cycle, and they are now, it's our round, so it's their turn to, let's say, at least starting to be what All Might and Endeavor has been until now, if that makes sense. I'm caught up in My Hero Academia manga but haven't been watching the anime. What happened in this episode? Just so I know where the anime is at. Okay. Nox answered that. The Lion King taught me about this. Hunter says, I guess I should pay attention to the lyrics, but I just like how it has a rock feeling to it. Well, for me, opening lyrics, especially for certain shows, are very important because they can oftentimes encompass the theme for the arc. So that's why I thought it was important, because it sounded like the words had a meaning. I really liked English class when I was in high school. I had second language English because it's my second language. And I really liked poetry. We had like in certain, what do you call the quarters? The years in 4 quarters, but in one of the quarters we did poetry, and I liked how we analyzed it from the title to the placement of certain commas and the shape of the poem. Everything I really liked because it all had meaning, and I think that a good opening, especially with a show like this that has a lot of deeper themes, I think it should mean something, and it should at least embody something about the characters, if not the arc itself. It still blows me away. This is your second language. I'm so awful with other languages. Wish I was better with them. Well, I only know 2 languages, and I really like English. And I think oftentimes second language English speakers can speak better in certain words or use different words only because we're trying harder, because we didn't grow up with the language. But oftentimes you'll notice what? Because I don't know everything. I mean, I didn't grow up with it like naturally. It's something I still have to try at. That's still twice as many languages as you. Okay, so I will write down the lyrics. Actually, let me do that first. I have my Hero Academia notes. I don't think I've shared the link to this in the description, but I should if you want, because there's some manga notes as well. Episode 15, and it's called One Thing at a Time, right? So that is linked to what Deku needs to learn about learning to manage his power one at a time. He can barely control his All Might power, and now he's gotten this new power, and he's already trying to like balance both, and how can he do this and that. And it was good for Endeavor to tell him from someone like, and like there's obviously things that All Might needed to teach Deku about what one for all, yes, and he taught him that. But now Deku has to learn from someone with a different perspective, like Endeavor, who, you remember in that flashback about the bridge and how he was looking back at, he's standing behind All Might. So it's one thing for All Might to teach Deku about his power, but when it comes to how to use that power, if it's something that, like Endeavor said, something about it doesn't come naturally to everyone. So those were really important words, I think, because, wait, let me just get it again. Forget about the secondary ability for now. He didn't start off knowing how to drive, so you have to learn things one by one. No matter how strong the power, its foundation is still steady accumulation. That is how some people are born, and they're naturally good at things. Whether it be singing or dancing or math. Sometimes you get lucky people, not lucky, but they're just lucky in this one area of life where they're just naturally good at something. But for the rest of us, for most of us in most things, we all probably have one thing in our lives or two things where we're naturally good at it. But if you're not naturally good at it, that's fine, because steady accumulation is good. That is how I looked at from the start. When I started my YouTube channel, I felt that steady growth is better, because if you wake up one morning, any of you, and your YouTube channel or your social media or whatever suddenly is adored by millions of people, you know how difficult it would be going from having like this to managing this that comes with the like certain talents or creating anything, right? You probably would be overwhelmed, and that would come with more negative than good. So I always find that steady accumulation is the best way to grow. Yes, a little growth spurt here and there is awesome, but I think it's interesting that Endeavor has to train the person who has the quirk of the person he's trying to surpass. I wonder if that is causing conflict in him. He wants Shoto to be better than Deku, or at least that was his goal during the tournament arc. I think he's changed too much to care about that right now. He is the #1 hero now, and he could never surpass All Might. And he's becoming a lot better person. And one of the people that helped him, remember when Bakugo and Todoroki were doing that exams or something with the kids, and Endeavor was talking to All Might. I think Endeavor has passed the point where he wants to be better than All Might because his opportunity has passed. He now is the #1 hero. Not how he wanted to be, but... So I think that him training Deku is more like serendipity than causing conflict within him. I think that he's passed a huge portion of the conflict phase, and now is really just trying to be the best #1 hero he can be, and become a better dad. So I don't personally think there's conflict. I think it's to me it's more seems like a wow, that is serendipitous. Serendipity meaning the occurrence and development of events by chance in a happy or beneficial way. So yeah, its foundation is still steady accumulating, but those who aren't exceptions just have to accumulate it. So that's how he looks at All Might. Whether or not, most of the time, these people that we look at as natural prodigies, they may look like natural prodigies to us, and maybe to some extent, they're definitely more adept at learning something than us. But at the end of the day, Endeavor is still, that's how he perceives All Might, as a person who, as you can see by the visuals here, because when he's using these words, whose visuals in his head? All Might. Those who aren't exceptions just have to accumulate it. At least that's the only way I know how to do it. So yeah, I do think that everything is coming together very nicely, because he did learn from All Might about his power and how to manifest it in his body and use it, but now he wants to use it at its full potential, and he can't learn just from one person, because although it is a power that he inherited from All Might, it's still his own power, and now he can't just copy All Might. He has to learn from various people and accumulate his own experience, and that's what he's doing. And is happening here by learning a different perspective, a different way to go about things from Endeavor. And the whole topic or topic of accumulation is very cool, because All Might's power, one for all, is in and of itself an accumulative power, which builds on each lost person that had it. So it's a very strong and important theme, I believe. The experience you get at school and on the job are completely... Wait. Even if you're doing repetitions of the same thing, the experience you get at school and on the job are completely different. Take what you've cultivated at school and get your body used to it here in the best environment possible. I like how they used the comparison with learning to drive a car, because if you've learned how to drive, then you'll know having driving lessons with someone in the next seat who also have pedals down there and can help you, and like learning on a quiet road is completely different from driving on the open road with a bunch of other cars around you. Like, you can learn things and you can even do them somewhat, but like he says, the experience you get at school and on the job are completely different. And it doesn't just go with experience, it goes with who you learn from. You need to learn from various people. You need various environments to learn in, and that includes teachers. So in the end, you take all of what you've learned and you come to your own conclusions, and because he has to hone this power to be his own. Even though it's accumulative of all these other people that had the power, in the end he has to make it his own through learning and experience and teachers and whatever. This episode made me think of Bakugo as the next All Might and Deku as the next Endeavor. I think it's more complex than that. There's similar ways in which, yes, Deku is like Endeavor and Bakugo is like All Might, but in other ways, Bakugo is like Endeavor and Deku is like All Might. So I think these new characters, they're not just the same characters repeated, they're actually a mix, if that makes sense. And they have their own challenges in light of that. Yeah, like their personalities are the other way around, like the successors of them, but changing them with their personality. So it's like, that's what I mean. Like they're similar to both in some way, and there will be parallels in their relationship with each other. But just like the powers being cumulative, in the end you have to make it your own. In the end, these characters are still their own. They might have similarities to the dynamic between All Might and Endeavor, but they're still their own people at the end of the day, and they will be different. I felt Endeavor saw a lot of himself in Bakugo due to their drive to be stronger. But here you see him see a lot of himself in Deku by saying, those who aren't exceptions just have to accumulate it. At least that's the only way I know how to do it. So in that way, Deku is the same as Endeavor. He has to accumulate this power slowly but surely, learn one thing at a time, and then use it together. So that's why there's like... I don't see them as like parallels of the previous two top heroes. I swear this episode was like 5 minutes long, says this comment. It actually felt like a long episode to me because there was a lot of information, but I really liked the information a lot. And I love to see Deku ramble on and the show joke with that because of how that's just who he is. Look at all this text. Look at all of it. Look at all of it. Look at all of it. So much talking. It's like me. All my notes. Look at all of it. Look at all of it. Look at all of it. Look at all the notes. Talking, ranting, nerding out. You see? You know why there's a sticker there? It's because I was doodling stupid stars and then it annoyed me and it looked stupid, so I had to close it because... No, it was hearts. And it looked ugly and it bothered me, so I had to close it. Anyone know what Endeavor meant by "you are one of us too"? Yeah, that's, I think what he meant there was about accumulate. You're not just born with a natural talent like Bakugo. The thing is, once again, let me repeat, just make clear what I said before. Even though Bakugo was born with this natural talent, this natural amazing strength, that doesn't make his journey any less difficult, because he was an ass and he needs to, and he has a bad personality, and he has his own struggles. So to become a hero is not any easier for him than most other people. There's going to be parts that are easier and parts that aren't. But the way that Endeavor was looking at All Might was in that way. So All Might was that natural talent like Bakugo was, but that's just from Endeavor's perspective. That's just from most people's perspective on Bakugo, because he was born with this amazing strength. So it's not necessarily true. All Might had his own issues becoming the number one hero. We just don't always see that. But it makes sense for someone like Endeavor to see it that way and to perceive them that way, because he has different struggles than that person. And that's why they say the grass is always greener on the other side. Like, you're always going to look at someone else's highlight reel and be like, I wish I was like that, but I have to do things this way. But in the end, if you go past that, the grass part, past the surface, and you see that everyone has their own struggles, and just because they have parts that are easier, that look easier on top, doesn't mean they don't have their own internal struggles or other struggles linked to becoming a hero in this case. But yeah, I would need to write it down to make it make sense, because I don't think that all my talking makes it make sense. But I feel like, just like Deku rambles and All Might, not All Might, Endeavor understood it somehow, even though we couldn't and the green hair lady couldn't. I feel like there are people who probably get what I mean even from all my ramblings, hopefully. I didn't think I would enjoy Endeavor actually teaching as much as I do. How did 1 week without an episode feel so long? Okay, so now we've talked about Endeavor. We did talk a bit about, in the reaction part, we did talk about the comparison between All Might and Endeavor as teachers, and someone said that for them, they think that after everything, Endeavor is might be a better teacher than All Might. And I replied and said, for me personally, I can't compare them, because All Might found Deku and taught him while he was already basically at the end of his hero rope. You know, he was already couldn't maintain his physical form for a long time. So I personally can't compare All Might teaching Deku to Endeavor teaching, because Endeavor is at the top of his game. So that's why for me, I find it difficult to compare their teaching, because they're in very different places in their life at the point of where we see them teach. And also, Endeavor has a lot to make up for, where All Might didn't. So I see them teaching, their teaching has a different purpose in a way, in the story, not in life. In the life of the story. Endeavor teaching is partly to show us how he has changed since what he did to Todoroki and his mother and everything. So it serves a different purpose, the teaching of Endeavor. Whereas All Might teaching Deku was about someone else inheriting this amazing power. And it wasn't making up. He didn't need to make up for anything. So it's very difficult for me to compare. But of course you will have I understand what you mean in the sense of Endeavor's teaching has a lot more depth to it, because we have 5 seasons, four seasons behind us of depth to the characters and to the story. Whereas All Might teaching Deku happens in like season 1, season 2, and it's mostly just about someone inheriting his power. Whereas this teaching has so much more depth to it because it's about, we've seen how difficult, how bad Endeavor actually was and how difficult it was for him to change. And now we see how Todoroki looks at him and he says, I'm just going to use you, which is fair enough. And so his teaching just, it has more riding on it. How do you say this? There's a lot more riding on Endeavor's teaching than All Might's teaching of Deku. Endeavor's teaching is about redemption, whereas All Might's teaching was about the beginning of the story, shonen, inheriting power. You know, it's like very different. But I can't. That's why I can't compare them, because it's too different. But I can see why you would like Endeavor more, because technically there's more depth to it, not death to it, depth. I also liked when Endeavor said to Bakugo that how long will you keep that excuse with the season being winter. I like the way he motivates them. Yeah, that's good. Because giving a reason is one thing, but don't keep using it. Just do better. There was a lot of good moments in this episode, but one I liked a lot was when Deku started rambling and Endeavor understood it all. Yes, that was great. The character interactions in this episode were really, really great. I really loved it. So what I'm going to do really quick is... one more thing. I know a lot of people... It was mentioned in this episode again about him inheriting 6 quirks. There was a flashback about it. So I wanted to say... Remember in the exam arc that was just before this one, when what's the guy with the purple hair's name? He was in 2 teams, and then that team had more people, right? And I remember there was one episode where in the beginning where they said it's both a benefit and a drawback. It's a benefit because they have more people. So you have more people to fight them. It's a benefit. But it's also a drawback because he has little experience. So that could end up holding them back, even though they have more people. In the same way, yes, a part of me is also like, Deku's gonna have 6 powers. That's so unfair. But at the same time, he has to learn to use 6 powers from scratch. That could hold him back as well. So it's not like, he's gonna be the #1 hero because he has 6 powers. It's gonna be more difficult for him because he's gonna have 6 powers to learn how to fucking manage. So I'm trying to like not see it as making the MC too powerful. It will have its own drawbacks. So that's quite... Having more quirks doesn't make you OP if you can't use all of them to perfection. Yes, master them. That's what I try and tell myself. Shinso. Oh, thank you. Okay, so that's one more thing that I wanted to say. Then I'm going to score the episode. Then I'm going to talk about the topic that I want to bring into real life, because I'm probably going to do that a lot in this arc anyway. So let's quickly do the score though. I'm more optimistic than you are. Why is that? Isn't it pessimistic? Because I think that his quirks is going to hold him back a lot, like it is already doing. He's getting caught up on, he can't even control 1 power, but now he's already thinking about how to control another power. But I get what you're saying, because in the end, we know that he will learn to use them all. And he is going to be stronger than everyone because he has 6 powers. So I get how you feel, but I am hopeful, I guess, that it will be balanced out somehow. Let's hope so. Seasonals, My Hero Academia. Wait. Season 5, episode 15. The amount this episode gave me to talk about, I gotta give it a 9.3. That's from Matty. Vasilishk says 9 for me for the episode. I would give story 9, characters 9, visuals 8.5, audio 8.5, enjoyment or investment 8.8, which gives me a total score of 8.8. Leon gives it an 8, Sotus gives it an 8.5. And now I can discuss what I wanted to discuss. So let me just quickly go to the episode and see where it is. It was here in the beginning. So, I really like this theme about the Meta Liberation War. And it's interesting that they have been using Hawks, who is like a celebrity, in order to further their agenda. And basically, we were talking about propaganda yesterday. This is propaganda. I think propaganda, information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote a political cause or point of view. So yeah, this is basically pure propaganda because it's biased information used to promote a political cause or point of view. So this book, where is it now? This Meta Liberation War book is a biased point of view, and they are trying to get young people, listen to this, it's very important. Not only did you read it thoroughly, but you also really get the destroness, which I have no idea what fucking destroness is. Liberation ideology will spread quickly. Listen, this is very important. Because, let's be real. If liberation ideology is an actual good thing, if it promotes critical thinking of people, and it is a fair ideology and a just one, then getting more people to read about it is not that harmful, because it promotes critical thinking after all. And therefore, if more people learn to critically think, who's it gonna hurt, right? But it doesn't seem to be that. I'm just trying to give an idea of what would be a good thing to teach people. But this seems to have, we don't know much about it yet, so I don't know, but just liberation ideology will spread quickly. Winning over your base of teens and 20-somethings would be great for us. Wait, I will continue my work. Okay, so just see how they're going about promoting their ideology. It's one thing to promote your ideology. You're allowed to do that, but they're doing it in a misleading way. They're using a celebrity, which you're more likely to buy something or buy into something when the person that you're looking up to, the person saying it. So it's very smart of them to use, and there's various ways to go about it. It's better than people leaving everything to heroes at least. Destroness made me think like a pun for the word destroy. What do you mean leaving everything to heroes? What do you mean leaving everything to heroes? Because for me, I don't know much about this ideology, but as far as I can tell, it's not about the opposite of leaving everything to heroes. Cherry says 9 for me. The build-up is great. I hope to see it all come together in the next few episodes, though. I don't think it's going to come together in the next few episodes. It will be like 12 episodes at least. There's probably going to be a lot more build-up, I'm expecting. But let me use, I want to use an example of something that, this is the controversial part, because I don't think we realize how oftentimes propaganda like this is used on us. And it's not harmful in and of itself, but we do unconsciously through celebrities and the media build up a lot of bias ourselves, because we hear the media say something is this or that, and then we hear celebrities talk about it positively, and then we buy into the ideology a lot easier. And it's like learning when you're young and you are taught a certain religion. It's not harmful to teach your children religion. What is harmful is your children should be allowed to question the religion and come to their own. For me, for example, I was raised as a Christian, and that's fine. I don't think my parents brainwashed me. They just taught me Christianity. But I wasn't, when I started questioning it and reading about other religions and stuff, and what the religion even means and blah blah blah. No one shamed me for it. No one, that kind of stuff. So then I was able to come to my own conclusions on Christianity and the meaning of it, and do I want to still call myself a Christian or blah, 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 blah. Okay? So that happens for a lot of people. A lot of people go through that same process and go back to being Christians, and they feel like they've come full circle. It's not just something they were taught to believe, it's something they choose to believe. And I think that that's important. But it's one thing when your parents raise you and you're allowed to question it, you're allowed to ask questions, whatever. But now, I don't think as adults or young adults, I'm not a young adult anymore, but when I was growing up, I can look back and see there was a lot of stuff that I thought in the same way, not because I actually believed it or I had those thoughts or came to those conclusions for myself, but just because that's what I saw in the media, that's what I saw in books, and that's why I chose to just look at Gwyneth Paltrow and her nonsense healthcare company. She's just a celebrity, has zero idea what she's talking about in the health field, and people are buying her shit because of celebrity culture. I like how it specifically said teens and 20-something. It's probably for various reasons, but also because young people are most impressionable and willing to take risky actions. Yes. So I want to give you an example of something that I've been thinking myself, and just I got shared with this article. It doesn't make it true. It's just I think that it's important for us to at least consider this perspective that it is a possibility. And as long as you're aware of that, as long as you're aware that Gwyneth Paltrow has no fucking health experience or healthcare professional experience, it doesn't matter if you try her products, because you are not a sheep. You're not just buying it and believing it works because she says so. But if you are a curious buyer, you buy it, you try it, you come to your own conclusions, it works for you, it doesn't work for you, I think that that's good, but you have to go into it with a critical mind. This is what I'm trying to promote. So let me just read you this article. I get you. What it is not allowed, in my opinion, is not letting the person deciding for themselves if they want to still support what they have been taught. So how I'm seeing this going is they are trying, this group of people, they're trying to get a lot of young people, impressionable young people, teens and 20-something-year-olds, to believe in their ideology so that when they rise up, they have all this backing, so that anyone who goes against them, they'll just fucking walk over you. And that's the problem. It's not about, hey, this is our ideology, join us or don't join us. We're just going to do our thing. It's about force. They just want to build up that backing so it's easier to force people against them to either join my cause or fucking get out. And that is very similar to cancel culture these days, where you're not allowed to question the narrative. You're not allowed to like the wrong person, because then you could get canceled. And that's a problem. Not only, it's a problem because people have been fired from their jobs after being cancelled, after saying the wrong thing. And that is not a healthy culture to be a part of. But okay. Critical thinking is the key to a lot of things, and that means being critical to the shit you are comfortable with as well. So here's the article. Ashton Kutcher, a co-founder of Thorn, an organization dedicated to defending children against sexual abuse, told Joe Lunsdale of American Optimist that he was concerned that China could be using the popular social media app TikTok to promote anti-Taiwanese propaganda. If you're not aware, I'm pretty sure I'm still learning about it. So China wants Taiwan to be under its control. Taiwan is like independent and they don't want to be under China's control. So there might be a war or something about Taiwan. But anyway, so let me read that again. China could be using the platform to manipulate people for its anti-Taiwanese propaganda campaign. If I'm China, Kutcher said, and I want to create a problem in that area of the world, specifically a naval problem in the South China Sea, I would probably want to utilize TikTok in order to influence the minds of Americans. TikTok, because America is a big power in the world, and like, if China choose to just fucking take Taiwan, the only people that could protect Taiwan and keep them independent as they want to be is like America, or I'm pretty sure I think Japan said that it would stand with Taiwan, but having America behind you is it would mean that China wouldn't take a risk, because if you fuck over Taiwan, China's like, hey bitch, we're their allies. So China's less likely to do something to Taiwan that's not right, if America is backing Taiwan. But if China successfully uses TikTok to make people feel like, oh, we deserve Taiwan, we can just take them, America might, if America even does something to protect Taiwan, the American people, the young influenced people might, but anyway, they might be unhappy with that, and then it could cause conflict, and in that conflict, America could draw back, China could just take over Taiwan and be like, well, nothing happened, let's go on with our lives, you are part of us now, just accept it. But anyway, I'm not saying if this is true, this is just the article, and based on what I know. TikTok recently updated its privacy policy to include the recording of biometric data from its users. According to TechCrunch, an online news outlet focused on tech companies, the platform's new privacy policy reads, "We may collect biometric identifiers and biometric information as defined under US laws, such as face prints and voice prints from the user content. Where required by law, we will seek any required permissions from you prior to any such collection." Kutcher voiced his concerns that the current trend of misinformation campaigns and permissive privacy policies is making social media dangerous, not just for individuals, but the country at large. "I think that's wrong," Kutcher said, "and I think we're about to face a reckoning in that particular domain, and it's going to probably change what social media looks like in the future. My sense is that what social media is today is not what social media is going to be in 5 years. If the trend line continues on the path that it is today, how it seems to be going, my kids will not be on social media. If the trend line pivots, as I think it likely will, there's a chance that I will allow them to use it." Because in the same way that these people are using hawks in order to infiltrate and influence the minds of children, young people and 20-something-year-olds, there is a chance that social media can be used in the same way, of course. It's just, I'm not saying it is, but obviously it would be easy to do that, right? Even to plant, I don't think we realize how hearing little messages, seeing little things the whole time, every single day. Like imagine you wake up every morning and your dad throws a cup of water in your face, or not even a cup of water. Your dad just says, "Good morning, shithead. I bet you're going to fail again today." If you hear that every morning over the course of 2 years, it's going to have an influence on your self-esteem, the things you think about yourself, the actions you choose to take. Because if you hear something every day, you start thinking it, you start questioning yourself. When you start questioning yourself, that influences the decisions that you choose to take. And the decisions you choose to take influences your life and how it's shaped. So I don't think we realize how little subliminal messages on social media can affect us over the long run. And that's why whenever you think something, especially when it's something negative or something against anyone, you have to ask yourself, why do I think this? And if you can't give a reason why, and this happens a lot with people online where they say something negative about something, and I ask them privately, usually, I'd like to know, why do you think that? And then half the time, they can't really give me a reason. They just give me a news article from one of the 15 mainstream. Like, have you ever seen that video about the news sites where they all just repeat the same thing? We watched it during The Matrix, that video, where they're all just saying the same thing, and it's like, I don't know how many different news places, but they're just parroting the exact same words. They have the same script. And we don't realize something like that until it's put next to each other right in front of us. And then you realize, I've been saying these things because I've been hearing it, but I don't even know why I think it. So anyway, I like this theme in the show because it's something I've realized in the last year has been happening. I agree with Ashton Kutcher, which is so funny because he's such a derpy guy in the movies, but he's become a really strong. He's what an actual influencer should be, in my opinion. And I'm sad in a way because he's just another cis white male. People are not going to care about what he has to say. In fact, they might go against what he has to say because of how we're taught to think about cis white males. Let's be honest. You know, your average cis white male is not, we don't think of them positively because of a lot of media and how we're taught to think about them. So I worry that he's not going to be taken seriously or outright cancelled for what he says. Instead of hopefully just consider his perspective potentially being true, because all that means is that you are just going to go into things more aware. If you see something, you don't just subconsciously see it and it makes an imprint on you. You look at it, you question it, and you either agree or disagree with it. Kelso has really grown up. Let's see here. If you can't examine what you already believe critically, there is no point in it in the first place. You have to be critical to all of it. Basically, Taiwan was where the nationalist faction in the Chinese Civil War escaped to. Yeah, there's a lot of information with regards to what stuff that's happening in China that I'm very critical of. But I'm still learning, so I don't want to talk too much about it. I don't want to recommend channels yet because each channel can only show one side. So I'm trying to watch all sides. But yeah, it's difficult. It takes a lot of time to listen to everyone's side and then decide for yourself what makes the most sense. Or, you know. I don't like the training videos I was getting was making me think on TikTok about men in society. Not men, cis white men. But men in general too, yeah. The patriarchy. Okay. And there's obviously, I'm talking about mostly Western stuff, not, yeah. And also you stop questioning what you hear because you are starting to accept it because you are hearing it every single time. So you think there's a reason for it. Yes. And plus, to be 100% fair, every single person, life is tough, you know? You guys, young people, they have school, they have freaking sports, friends, puberty. Oh my God, it's confusing. And now you have to think for yourself. It's just so much easier to take the media's word for it. It is difficult to make time to critically think and to question and to, like, even for me, learning about the stuff takes so much time. I have so much to do every day. And it's, sometimes you just want to have this is my reputable source. Whatever they say, I'm just going to listen to them because I trust them. But that you shouldn't think like that. Everyone makes mistakes. And that's why I do have go-to people about certain topics, but the reason I go to them is because they give me sources so I can fact check myself what they're saying, and I can think for myself. They don't just say things and believe me. They are rational, they have sources, they encourage critical thinking, they encourage debate. And these, like Gothics, for example, I bring her up a lot. I like these people because if I really don't have time, I will go watch just their video until I can make more time, because their videos give me sources and give me an open forum discussion, you know? So I have go-to people too, but at the end of the day, these people themselves don't, they encourage critical thinking and they don't talk as if I'm just supposed to believe them. Oh, so confusing, I'm sorry. Hi. Hi, Sky. I just quickly want to take her to Hanku. Sky. Sky. Hello. Hello. Are you hungry? Yeah. I'm hungry. I might take. Please feed me. What's up? She's so small. Literally, this entire conversation has just verified my stance on fuck social media. Yeah, I took a break from TikTok and Twitter and Instagram because I was spending too much time on social media. And I felt like I just needed a bit of a break to focus on YouTube and DMs and yada yada. And I actually am not gonna go back to TikTok because same reasons. Just very overwhelming with the messagings and what? You can agree with people or disagree with people without canceling them? Contrary to popular belief, yes you can. Let's be real. Thanks to social media, we get to have this conversation. We get to connect. I get to do what I do and do what I love every day. So, facial media. Social media has many benefits, but the problem is we've just accepted it and been using it. We haven't been thinking critically of it. And I think that it is just like money, in which it's neutral and it's how you use it that makes the difference. And the problem is social media is pretty new, you know? So we've just been basking in the benefits and forgotten that it has a dark side, just as money can make you bad or power can make you bad. Social media has a dark side as well. And so, hi Saad. So yeah, it is just something that we need to think more critically about, especially when Facebook starts sending you messages about warning them about extremist friends. You should be worried. That's like straight out of Hitler's notebook. Fuck. Okay. No, I know we shouldn't just bring up Hitler because that is like very, very serious, but we should be aware of tactics he used because he successfully turned an entire nation of people against people to make them seem like what he achieved. It's so scary. We have to look at small things he did because it didn't happen overnight. So I'm just saying, be careful. Anyway, I guess I think of certain things as social media and not others. This is social media to me. Twitch is social media. Twitter is social media. YouTube is social media because it's places I go to be social and meet people all over the world with the same interests as me. Oi! It has nothing to do with Germany or Germans. It's just fucking Hitler. He wasn't Hitler because he was German. He was, or what? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be like him, because he also was like Jewish people, and no, like we shouldn't be like Germans. Like, no. Yeah, he wasn't even German. He was fucking Austrian. So, you see my point here. Those commie bastards. Okay, so let us end it here. Very interesting topics of the show so far. No. I look forward to the rest of the arc. I think next week's episode is going to be a bit more light. I was hoping we'd have a few more episodes like this one, but like I said, it does build up time. So, okay. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.